Hello, Miss Lee. I would like to ask you to introduce yourself.
My name is Violet Lee, and I'm a Tai Chi practitioner as well as instructor. I am a 12th generation Chen style Tai Chi Inheritor, inside or indoor disciple of Grandmaster Chen.
Oh, yes, thank you. And the first question is, you see nowadays Tai Chi, it's always associated with meditation. And in the modern society, stress has become a major issue. Is Tai Chi a solution? Can Tai Chi help with regaining our balance, calming ourselves and distress?
Well, Tai Chi Chuan is healing art as well as a martial art. And in May, it is in the US, it's the month of mental health month. So I think it's great that we are here to talk about how Tai Chi Chuan can help people with the mental health. And the big part of the mental health is because Tai Chi Chuan is meditation in motion. The meditation in motion, this phrase wasn't termed by me. Actually, it was called by the scientists in the US and also around the world, and many medical research institute. They found out that Tai Chi Chuan has that quality of meditation, and but at the same time, when we do Tai Chi Chuan, we keep moving. So that's why they say Tai Chi Chuan is meditation in motion.
In motion. So beautiful. I also heard Tai Chi is poetry in motion.
That's true too. Yes, yes, it's very poetic in many ways, and Tai Chi Chuan is multifaceted, and it has so many different layers, extremely profound, and so yeah, Tai Chi Chuan is medicine. Tai Chi Chuan is poet, like you say. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Well, you see, the next question is if we look further into stress and its consequences, uh, there are depression and anxiety. Can also Tai Chi help people with this kind of problems to unbalance and to find a cure in Tai Chi?
Well, I'm glad that you asked that question. I have a few books here, and I'd like to share with you and your audience. And the first book is called The Relaxation Response. This is a very, very famous book, and was written by Dr. Herbert Benson, and was written in 1975. So it's like 45 years old, this book. However, this book is still going very strong. It has been translated into multi-languages. And, you named it. I don't know how many now. Last time I checked, it's like 30, 40 languages. And this is a book, Dr. Benson, he was with Harvard Medical School. I believe he still is there. And based on the clinical study, and it has shown the health benefit of relaxation. And when our body is relaxed, and then so a lot of things can happen, and it really help the not just the mental health, and it also help the body, the physical response. And in the book, it give all the how should I say, results based on the studies, and to show how physically the bioindexes has changed once people relax. And in this book, he clearly mentioned about the effect of meditation, and because meditation can really help to relax the body. And later, a few years ago, Dr. Benson was invited to a large symposium, and during that symposium, he also talked about Tai Chi and Qigong, and it's part of the relaxation technique, and so you really can help people to reduce the blood pressure and help with insomnia and help bring down the how should I say blood sugar and so forth. So it has a huge health benefit to our physical body as well as a mental body.
It's mental, yeah.
And so now I'd like to talk further the relationship between Tai Chi Chuan and meditation and relaxation, okay? And then because you were asking me, how Tai Chi Chuan can help, is that the answer? There are many different ways we can get to that relaxation, as pointed out in this book. But Tai Chi Chuan definitely is a sure way to get there. And the reason is there's a few things we emphasize when we practicing Tai Chi. Tai Chi Chuan is to regulate the mind, to regulate the body, and regulate the breath. In Chinese, we call it 调心, 调身, 调息, okay? It's how we moderate and balance all these three elements. And when let's look at the 调心, so-called regulate our mind. Regulation may sound it's a very rigid, but actually it's not. It's how we work with and how we I don't want to use the word control. And how do we work with our mind? Because if you have practiced any Tai Chi Chuan, even though it looks extremely simple, but actually it's not that easy. And so there are a lot of elements we really need to pay attention. So just say, the beginning movement, okay? You can even do sitting. You don't have to stand. You inhale, okay? You feel how your energy moves and how your body moves, okay? So you don't want just like this, 5 years old can do that, or 2 years old can do that, right? The point is you be mindful. You really feel, how your arms and your shoulder move, and now you draw your elbows down, and then you pay attention to your wrist, and now you're coming down, right? So all these kind of things is your mind and your body together, and then that way you're being mindful or control your mind. So your mind doesn't wandering around and get lost. And in this book, again, back to this book, Dr. Benson said there are 4 elements of meditation. One is a quiet environment. But at the same time, people can meditate in New York City, with all the hustling and bustling around. And I think when he says that the quiet environment is, you don't get disturbed all the time and say, hey, Sebastian, get me this. Sebastian, can you answer the phone call that way? That's kind of noise we're talking about. I'm not talking about the noise, the horns or the sirens on the street. That's not the important part. And another part, so-called quiet environment, is mentally we have to be very quiet ourselves. Your mind is not wandering around. If your mind is wandering around, there are a lot of noises, right? So that's the first element. And the second element is object to dwell upon. And then, I don't know about you, Sebastian, but I know most people like me, we all have a monkey mind. It's just wandering around, right? It's very difficult to just settle down, dwell on one simple things. So you see a lot of people, they talking about meditate. They have a candle there, they stare at the candle. Why? Because it helps you to focus, so your mind doesn't wandering around. And with Tai Chi Chuan, as I mentioned, the movement, so you focus on your shoulder, your elbow, your arm, your wrist, right? And then as Chen style, we're doing the cloud hand or the silk really. Now you turn your palms out. Make sure your shoulder doesn't creep up. Relax. Drop your elbow. Elbow needs to be lower than your shoulder. So with all, and not to mention the footwork and you're folding your quad, sitting and shifting the weight. There are so many elements in our body we need to pay attention to dwell on. So now you're not thinking about it. I owe Johnny $100. When am I going to return to him? Or somebody else owe me money. Is he going to Venmo me? Or what I'm going to eat for lunch? And what I'm going to do this weekend? Should I really meet with Amy or should I go out with Anna, right? So your mind kept wandering like that. So with Tai Chi practice, you tune everything up. There's nothing but you and your body, and you just focus on that. And then the last element is your breathing, and you breathe accordingly. So Tai Chi Chuan is complicated. You have a lot of things really need to focus on. So that way, your mind will not wandering around. So back to this book, the third element, and Dr. Benson said, is a passive attitude. You know, you don't want eagerly to go out of whatever. You just follow the flow, okay? And then, but with Tai Chi Chuan, you have something to follow. And lastly, is comfortable position. And the one good thing about Tai Chi Chuan, unlike some of the sitting meditation, like the Buddhism or the Taoism, they ask you to fold your legs, and then if you sit there for a long time, your legs go to sleep, right? It's not that comfortable. And then, well, that's a test also. I'm not saying it is bad, but it is difficult for beginner. But with Tai Chi Chuan, you know, it's very comfortable. If you feel uncomfortable, that means your body alignment probably is wrong. So in another way, it's telling you. And then another thing is with Tai Chi Chuan, it's very unassuming and very nonchalant. You can wear anything comfortable, right? Unlike you do yoga, you have to wear Lululemon to look cool or whatever. No, you don't have to. You just be comfortable and be yourself. And then if you see my daily class, I made a point, and well, actually, yes or no, I made a point to show people they can wear anything to do Tai Chi. You don't have to wear a Tai Chi outfit. And that's why when I teach, that's what I wear. I just wear whatever that day, you know, like today, you know. I wear this kind of clothes to teach Tai Chi all the time. So, yes. As long as it's
Wonderful. You know, in yoga, they say that the body is like a machine and the mind could be compared with a computer. So from what I understand is that Tai Chi, it's a way, it's a method to bring to a normal functionality for the machine and the computer, so probably the mind and body join together, so the spirit will be comfortable and relaxed.
Well, that's one analogy to look at it. And in another way I look at it is our mind and body should never be separated. And the one thing is, you know, I not say against, but you see people, they go to the gym, okay? They doing this on treadmill or whatever, a rowing machine, pound, 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 pound. And they have a screen, a TV there, and it's broadcasting the news or whatever, a sitcom. So their mind is paying attention to the TV. And then, you know, a lot of time the news, the bad news more than good news, right?
Exactly.
And then so that really affect our emotion. Okay, I'm not saying we should not have empathy. Yes, you watch news other time, but when you exercise, your mind and your body should be together. Nowadays, we're multitasking way too much. When we're eating, we're punching the cell phone, right? Or working on computer. Our mind and our body always separate. And there are tons of research have shown us when mind and body are not together. And, you know, it's a big issue. And another book I like to share with you, okay? I'm very bookish and I'm very nerdy. And some of you probably know that I have written more than 600 articles in the field of Tai Chi and Qigong. And you can read those articles on my website. And I have a global readership from at least 45 different countries. And so I read a lot of books and I read a lot of scientific studies. So when I say something, it's not, I made it up. It's all based on the facts or based on science. And then here's another book. And I don't read, first of all, I'm not a Buddhist. And but the interesting about this book, this is called the Scientific Dialogue with Dalai Lama and on the healing power of meditation. Again, it's talking about how meditation can help people. And this was it's like a record of a symposium, you know, a scientific symposium. And so many prominent scientists around the world in this field attended that. And in this book, it recorded all their research paper and also what was discussed was very interesting. And this is added by Richard Davidson, Dr. Richard Davidson. He is one of the top-notch scientists in this field. And he has written another book I have, but right now I cannot find it. I think I loaned it to my students. And so they talk about the health benefit of meditation. And it shows people when they meditate, not only say, you know, they become nicer, calmer, and the students, their school grades went up. And so it's very, very interesting. And so I highly recommend people, you know, read this book. And Dr. Richard Davidson, and he has a very big lab. And it's like a company, has a few hundred people working there. And he was, that time when I interviewed him, he was with University of Wisconsin Medicine. So his budget was in the millions, tens of millions. And then they have done a lot of study and research. So this is not just somebody, you know, decides, oh yes, meditation is good. You know, it is not like that. And this book, like I say, and collect all the studies and done by the scientists who attended that symposium. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, well, I'm glad you will find it interesting and useful.
Thank you. So you were saying earlier about the monkey mind, about the disconnection between brain and body, mind and body. You
Yes.
see, another problem that people confront nowadays, a major problem, is insomnia. Can Tai Chi Chuan fight also insomnia?
Oh yeah, definitely. See well, let me say this first. I am not medically trained. So I'm not speaking from that angle. However, based on what I have studied, and it seems, some of the people who have hard time to fall asleep is because the brain cannot turn itself off. The brain just keep going and going and going. Okay, that's one element. Of course, there are different suggestions and say, the blue light from the cell phone or from the mobile devices are really bad for us. So before you go to bed, like an hour before, you should turn it to the warm yellow light or whatever. And you don't want to have too many students, so you should turn it down. And these are things, but the more fundamental things is the brain. The brain just keep going and going and going. And based on many studies, but there's one particular one I want to share with everyone. And this was done by Professor Michael Urban at the UCLA University of California at Los Angeles campus, which is one of the best school in the world, right? And they have a center called Carson Center, and it's a research center. And that's, of course, the Carson Center is focused more on the aging population. And but you know what, human bodies are all the same, right? So one of the very important research they have done is compare the people who practice Tai Chi versus people don't. So they use a so-called gold standard. They have the control group, and all the participants, they were randomly assigned to the different groups, so you can really compare apple to apple, right? So they have found out with Tai Chi practice, and people sleep quality has improved dramatically, and then they also will be able to fall asleep easily. So yes, and this is all based on the science. And if anyone is interested, and I recorded that, you can read my article on that. Yeah.
Thank you once again. Also, the next question will be, but the answer is already half given. Is Tai Chi helping someone to preserve the state of health?
Say that again, I cannot hear you.
Tai Chi can help us to preserve our health.
Well, can you define for me, what do you mean by preserve?
Like, you see, as you mentioned, the aging processes, like, can someone age beautifully without having chronic diseases and staying healthy?
Okay, well, thanks for clarifying that question for me. First of all, okay, Tai Chi Chuan is great, but Tai Chi Chuan cannot do everything. Otherwise, Tai Chi Chuan was first created about 400 years ago by General Chen of the Chen family. And so if Tai Chi Chuan is, can really preserve all the health, then Chen Wangting will still be around, right? 400 some years old, or almost 500 years old. So we have to understand, mortality. And there are many factors really affect the mortality. And yes, health, one thing is, how should I say, highly impact when we go, right? And and there are a lot of individual differences. There are genetic things, which you and I, we cannot escape that. And of course, there are some recent research found out that actually we can avoid certain things from happening, even though you have the genes. However, you know, if you don't give the gym the environment to propagate itself, and you know, you can either delay the onset and so forth. So again, based on the science, this is called Harvard Medical School Guide to Tai Chi, and this is written by Dr. Peter Wen. Okay, this is one of the best sellers around the world as well. I wrote a review long time ago when it first came out. So again, you know, we need to look at the science, what they have taught us. And in Dr. Wen's book, he has, this book is really excellent. The reason is he explained why Tai Chi Chuan is such a great healing art. First, he explained it from the Tai Chi Chuan itself, you know, the theory behind Tai Chi Chuan. But you know what, to people, you will understand because you practice Tai Chi, and to a lot of people who don't even know how to pronounce it, right? They will say, whoop, it just went over their head, right? It means nothing to them. So then he explained it from the Chinese medicine theory. And because when Chen first created the Tai Chi Chuan, he has kind of infused a lot of the Chinese medicine theory into the martial art practice. China is an old country. It has thousands of years of history, and there were a lot of fighting. There's no denying about it there, right? So there are a lot of martial techniques were developed and was created. So General Chen Wangting, and he kind of selected the best maneuvering and infused with the Chinese medicine, and then created Tai Chi Chuan. So like I say, you know, so that Dr. Peter Wen explained it first from the Tai Chi Chuan itself, and then secondary, he explained it based on the Chinese medicine. But nowadays, you know, still people question about the, you know, the efficacy or efficiency or whatever about the Chinese medicine, and they don't understand, right? So Dr. Wen, the third layer, he explained these things from the Western medicine perspective, and say why Tai Chi Chuan is great for the health, and that's not enough. So you know, the last part of his book, he has listed a lot of health issues, and with actual empirical scientific studies, and to explain why Tai Chi Chuan is good for this and that. So yes, and I remember back many years ago when I first heard that, you know, Tai Chi Chuan was so good. Was like, okay, Tai Chi Chuan is just like vitamins, right? It's good for everything. So what? You don't really take it that seriously. You see what I'm saying? But then once I started to read these papers, then I found out, oh my God, this is real. This is real. And they showed you the study cited in this book, and also in the articles I wrote about it, all based on so-called gold standard research. And it all has a randomized controlled trial. So it's not just, you know, a simple say, oh, Johnny, go ahead and practice Tai Chi for 3 months. Let me see. Oh yes, you increase the leg muscle. Good. But there is no control group. Is this really better than the other, right? You don't know. So the important part in the science is we have to look at, you know, all the elements and make everything else equal. And like I say, randomized control trial, that's the gold standard. Yeah. So back to your question, can Tai Chi Chuan and maintain the health. I think in many ways, yes. And not only that, and even people with chronic disease, it can get better. It's not just maintain, say, okay, today you are at this situation, you just maintain like this forever. It's, you know, you can improve, say, people have heart disease. I think, I don't really quote me on this. I think maybe it's Brisbane in Australia, but there's one city, a large city in Australia. I know it's not Sydney, it's not Melbourne. I don't remember which city, but the government, the city government actually provide free Tai Chi classes for survivor of a heart attack. People with, you know, chronic heart problems. And then at the same time, they tracked people's result. And they found that it was very, very helpful to help people to improve the health. So it's not just maintain, it can improve the health. And there's, you know, very famous paper was published in New England Journal of Medicine about people have fibromyalgia. Since you are a man, you probably, you know, you're lucky because fibromyalgia hits mostly female. There are some men also got fibromyalgia, but mostly the victims are female. And they have found out using Tai Chi Chuan, people could reduce that excruciating pain down to nothing. And so I have interviewed Dr. Chen Wang, who is authority on this matter. She was telling me the effect of Tai Chi Chuan is so much better than taking those opioids meds. And back, that was like 7-8 years ago. In this country, we were not really focusing on those painkillers yet, but she already told me those painkillers are really, really dangerous. And not only they're really, really dangerous, they don't really do the job. And Tai Chi Chuan, on the other hand, can really help people to reduce the symptom or eliminate symptom. And I myself, and I have taught more than 3,000 students, both in the US and overseas. And some of my students told me, and she was, you know, taking Tylenol, 3 pills a day, and she still could not take steps. She had to take elevator. But after taking Tai Chi lesson with me for like 2-3 months, not only from 3 pills down to 0, no pills. And also, she could go up and she could go down. And first she said, you know, she was able to walk up, but she could not walk down. But after 2-3 months, she could walk up, walk down without pills. So it's not just maintain, it's improve as well. Yeah. So
This is wonderful. So Tai Chi is an infusion of Chinese medicine like a therapy. But can Tai Chi be also a measure of happiness?
well, you know what? Happiness actually is a lot of time, it could be impacted by your physical condition. If people are not, you know, if you have pain here in your knee, you wanted to go to the park to see the, you know, right now the flowers are blooming, you know, it's springtime, but your knee hurts. You have to stay at home. How can you be happy, right? But if you could be active, you will be happy. So when you're physically is capable, it can bring you a lot of joy. That's one level, right? And not to mention, again, based on study, when we are doing, let me show you something very, very simple. You do that all the time. You know, self-grilling, right? When we are doing this, shifting the weight from one side to the other side, you know, and then we, in Tai Chi Chuan, we say with the solid and the emptiness, the key kind of transforming, okay? The weight shifting. Guess what? Again, I did not say that. Scientists say that. The serotonin level, dopamine in the brain increase their secretion. And what that means, make us happier. So while we are practicing this, you know, things happen internally. And then it can increase the happiness. And there's another study found out. This is just not say, okay, Sebastian, let's practice Tai Chi, let's have a Tai Chi class. Yes, after the Tai Chi class, or during the Tai Chi class, we all feel nice and happy. But it's more than that. The residual effect remains so. So yes, it makes people happier. Yeah. Thanks for the question. That's a great question.
The image it brings in my mind, your words, is the two fish, Chinese fish. They going together. They complete each other. They swim in harmony. It creates like a happy image. What does it take for someone to practice Tai Chi physically? Do they need to be in shape? Are there any restrictions? Are there any risks?
Well, here comes to my gripe. I have some really good friends, dear friends of mine, and was telling me, said, Violet, I know Tai Chi Chuan is great, but I'm not that old yet. So I think that a lot of time in the Western media, we portray Tai Chi Chuan was done by the seniors, right? When people cannot do anything else, then they do Tai Chi. Yes. My friend Bob is in his 80s, but he said, you know, he still told me, Violet, when I'm still can go to the gym, I don't want to do Tai Chi. And then I did not tell him, once you cannot even go to the gym, you probably cannot learn Tai Chi either. I did not say that to him. As the matter of the truth is, Tai Chi Chuan can be practiced by any age and any demographic group, and also the physical condition. My youngest students were 7. They were 7 years old. My oldest is 106. He just turned 107. But recently, because the COVID-19, you know, we all have to stay home, so I could not go teach there. And so he just had his birthday celebrate 107. But when he was 106, I was teaching him. And another wonderful story to share is he had COVID-19 and he beat it. Can you believe that? 106. 106. And at that time he was approaching 107 and he beat it. Coronavirus.
That he greatly benefit from the Tai Chi help for that.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit. And first of all, he always have a very good routine himself. He doesn't do while drinking. You know, he goes to bed very regularly, you know, at a certain time. And he's you know, always watch what he eats. As a matter of fact, he's on the so-called nutrition committee. He lives in a senior center. He's on that nutrition committee, and he's been promoting, you know, so-called organic food. So there are all these elements, you know, work for him, but he works very hard to do that, right? And so back to the say, you know, you say Tai Chi Chuan is good. How come we don't see 300 years old Tai Chi Chuan master or 400 years old Tai Chi Chuan master, because there are other elements. You cannot say, okay, I'm practicing Tai Chi Chuan, go out and smoke. Guess what? I saw that some people do that, and they say, oh, Tai Chi Chuan is great. And then during the break, they go out smoke. So that doesn't help, right? And it says some people don't smoke, but they went on party and they drink. And then that kills the liver and the kidneys. So you cannot say because you take Tai Chi Chuan, you don't pay attention to other elements in your life. It's all about balance, as you say. And then I guess that's the really takeaway, Tai Chi Chuan emphasize, it follows the philosophy of so-called Taoism. When I say Taoism, I mean the philosophy, not the religion of Taoism, the philosophy of Taoism. It's talking about the yin and yang and the balance. And it's not just say, we do yin, we do yang. It's how do we keep it balanced. That's the most important part. Yeah. So everything in life, people go extreme, and then there should be some consequences. Yeah.
But also, are there any restrictions or risk in practicing Tai Chi? Do people, they need to be in shape? For example, if a person is overweight, can that person practice Tai Chi? Are there any impediments to the practice?
Very good question. And I have seen people who are not physically fit, and some of them are overweight. And because Tai Chi Chuan is extremely mild, and they can still practice without exertion. And the people even sitting in wheelchairs, they can practice. And so they're very, very, okay, my friend, Master Pei Li in Taiwan, she actually teaches people on dialysis. When they are, when people have a kidney problem, before they can get a transplant, a lot of them, they do dialysis. And they have to do dialysis several times a week. And each time it's probably was at least an hour. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And I think it was at least an hour. So they're laying there. Guess what? Master Li goes to those center and teach them simple Tai Chi movement and help them. Otherwise, people feel really drained. And when they do this, they feel rejuvenated. So even people at that condition, they are laying there, they still can practice Tai Chi. So if anyone is telling me say they cannot do it, excuses. It's just looking for excuses. I have taught people with hearing impairment. True, it is not easy for me as an instructor to teach somebody who has this kind of problem. And I know in St. Louis, and there's a group of, people, they have Down syndrome, and they learn Tai Chi. And I have worked with so many people, their health are compromised, and they can learn it, and they still get benefit. Yes, they may not have the full benefit as you may get, but still they can get some, right? So I think that, almost everybody. And I heard a really touching story, which I myself don't have the personal experience yet. So this instructor, and he got a call, and So this person said, well, do you teach? Do you come to the house and teach? He said, yes, I can. So he went to the house, and then somebody turned the light off. And he said, wait a minute, why did you turn the light off? He said, because I cannot see. And can you teach me? If you cannot see, if the instructor cannot see, right? How do you teach another person, right? So, but I think that they had a very good working relationship. So like I say, I myself, I have not that experience yet, but Tai Chi Chuan can be enjoyed and practiced by people with all kinds of physical challenges. Yeah. And speaking of weight, 2009, I went to the first International Tai Chi Symposium. It was held at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, and my alma mater, by the way. And so there was so many Tai Chi masters and grandmasters there, and as well as I don't know, there were a few dozen of scientists were there, and they had the symposium part. You know, the grandmaster were there teaching Tai Chi, and then on the other side they have the symposium, the scientific symposium going on, and the scientists, you know, I should say, talk about their studies. And one of the papers, very interesting, two group of people. One group of people, you know, they again, randomized control trial. You don't know, you know, who you sign to what a group. So basically they are the same. And two groups of people. And, you know, they never learned Tai Chi before. So two groups of people, and they would do, before the experiment, they take all the bioindexes, you know, your heartbeat, your blood sugar, and so forth, your heartbeat, and then your breathing and your weight, everything. So, and then they did like the research, I think was 6 months, like 3 months in the middle point. And then they took all the measurements again. And then at the end, they did measurements again. So the scientists were saying, you know, when they do the scientific study, normally they have some kind of assumption to go by with. They thought, yes, people practice Tai Chi will have a better outcome as far as a lot of these bio indexes. And, but what they did not expect was the group which practiced Tai Chi, learned Tai Chi, actually lost more weight than the people did aerobic exercise. Yes, I know every time I share that story with people eyes just popping, okay? So people actually lost more weight by practicing this slowly and slowly movement.
This is impressive.
Why? But you know why? They did not really have the way to track it at that time, but what the conclusion was, they think because the very, very slow moving in company with the slow breathing. So the oxidation in your body actually is more complete. So it helps to burn more fat. You know, as a matter of fact, let me grab my book.
Sure.
Okay. This was done by Dr. Peter Griffin. Okay, another book. I'm a very nerdy, okay?
It's clear.
In this book, he talked about his study. He found out, you know, Tai Chi Chuan, and especially do you practice yang style Tai Chi or do you practice Tai Chi 24?
Yes.
Sebastian?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the sparrow's tail. So when you do the sparrow's tail endlessly, you know, you go right and then you go to the left. You just keep going and going. And this is a little gadget. It's called pulse oximetry, oximeter. This measures the oxygen level in the blood. Guess what? When people do that, the oxygen level is the highest ever. A lot of times when we do aerobic exercise, the oxygen goes to the big muscle. But when we're doing Tai Chi Chuan, very slowly, it goes to the whole body and also the internal organs. And it's amazing. So maybe that's why, of course, this book was published more recently, I guess maybe 2 years old. And the other research I mentioned, it was done more than 10 years ago. So that time, the scientists think, you know, the reason why people practice Tai Chi lose more weight is because the breathing. So I think they're on the right track.
The blood gets to be more oxygenated.
Yes, because it's more oxygen intake, and then it helps to burn fat more effectively. And I'm going to tell you something really going to blow your mind off. So once they finish the research, okay, they keep tracking of these folks. So these two groups don't do the exercise anymore. Doesn't matter you do aerobic or Tai Chi. Stop doing what you're doing. And they track people, you know, 3 months later and 6 months later. As we all know, if you don't exercise, what happens? Your bioindexes go into the wrong direction, right?
Yes.
Right? So you will start gaining weight, and whatever problems you have, blood pressure, everything just going the wrong direction. So both groups the same way. However, the group which learn Tai Chi, practice Tai Chi, they go in negative much, much slower than the group practice aerobic. The explanation is because unlike other type of exercise, say aerobic, you just see the immediate result. But Tai Chi Chuan, when we practice, it actually change our body fundamentally, rewire our body. So your body becomes a much more effective machine. Using the word you previously talked about, we are a much better machine now. It's like when you take your car in for a tune-up or whatever, your body can process the toxins a lot better. So you can get rid of the waste. And so that's why, you see that kind of result.
So actually the detraining effect is not felt the same way.
Well, it definitely have, Tai Chi Chuan have a long-lasting effect. But as we all know, if people don't keep practicing Tai Chi Chuan for more than 6 months, then things can go back again, right? So, yeah, I myself, I was a very weak child, and I have a serious back pain issue, lower back pain issue, and also knee issue since high school days. And it was just, sometimes I could not even straighten my back, I will walk like 80 years old like this. It was really bad. And but I was cleaning my house, you know, since we was housebound, right? I'm cleaning my house. I have a box of the things, knee brace, back brace, and all different kind of braces. Yes, and just because I have so many health issues. But those things, you know, they are in a box now. Hopefully, I will never use them. I have not used them for more than 10 years now. And however, I have to admit, you know, because traveling and because work, sometimes, you know, I'm human being, I'm lazy. I did not do what I preach, right? So I slack off and I did not practice. If I don't practice, say for 3 days, kind of feel funny. And then if I don't practice for a week, my lower back would start telling me, say, yeah, I'm here. If I really go for 2 weeks without practicing, it hurts. It hurts. That's why, you know, it is good. You know, my back keep telling me, you better exercise. So I did not realize I actually have a so-called arthritis in my lower back. It started very young age. I don't know why, but you know, just my luck, right? So I really have to practice Tai Chi. Otherwise, it hurts me. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But you see, in yoga, also people they practice or they have this awareness of the body. So even if we do not really practice, that's a mental practice. That's a special attention given to the body, the way we do things, so we can still be in a good condition without practice for a while. Can we do this the same with Tai Chi? A mental
Say that
practice.
again. I'm sorry, I did not follow you.
Oh, so in
Let me
yoga,
turn my volume up a little bit. Maybe I can hear you better. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
so in yoga, there is this kind of awareness, a special attention given to the body when we do things. So we do it the same way as we practice yoga. Can we do the same thing with Tai Chi? Let's say if there are different situations when we cannot really practice the physical form, the action, but can we have a mental practice of Tai Chi?
Well, first of all, I have to admit, I am not familiar with yoga, even though in my younger years, I did practice yoga, but I was only practice yoga at a physical level. And I have got to know some people who actually they practice yoga totally is spiritually and emotionally. Actually, I was told the highest level of yoga is all spiritual. It's not physical. Okay, so I am yeah, no expert in that area, so I cannot really draw a comparison of these two. And one thing I do want to mention about Tai Chi Chuan, and then you see there's amazing things about Tai Chi Chuan is it doesn't matter what kind of religious background people have, what kind of political belief people have, and the ethnical background, whatever, men or women, young and old, everybody can practice Tai Chi. World Tai Chi Day, which was celebrated about 21 years ago and started by Angela Wang and her husband and Bill Douglas. And nowadays, there are more than hundreds, or maybe actually thousands of cities, large and small, around the world, all practice Tai Chi. Because Tai Chi Chuan, even though it's spiritual, but it's not like some some other type of so-called spiritual thing because it's not religious affiliated. And then it's mind and body, but we don't have to take it to a esoterical level. It is not that way at all. And so when we, like I was talking at the beginning, I say, TaiChi Chuan, you work with your mind. It's your mind, it stay with your body. It's just as simple as that way, okay? Don't think too much. When you think too much, people got into the wrong alley, and that could be bad. It's not because they practice Tai Chi Chuan. You will never get to that place with Tai Chi Chuan. Tai Chi Chuan is very safe. But as I mentioned, again, let me tilt my screen a little, I don't know. This way, you probably don't see well because when I do this, even though my hand is about the shoulder level, but it looks like higher just because how the camera was angled. When we are practicing Tai Chi Chuan, I'm just showing one simple movement, okay? So we shift weight for left hip joint, and at the same time, the hands are twining. So there are a lot of subtleties in there. So when I am bring the hands down, okay, first relax shoulder, relax elbow, and relax the wrist. And then you have the twining energy there. You got so many things to focus. So your brain doesn't go somewhere else, which you're not supposed to. Again, Dr. Herb Benson said, you need to have something to dwell on. When people, mind goes somewhere else, that's the time we can get into trouble. I remember one time I was teaching a workshop. Somebody, these are all new students. They never learned Tai Chi before. So I was teaching them small hand. Then the student said, well, can I close my eyes? Okay. They want to imagine they are at the mountaintop, they are whatever, okay. If they are doing that right away, the mind and body are separate. Feel your body, okay? Stay with your body. And that's the key. And believe or not, when people keep their mind and body together, that's really spiritual. I don't know how to describe that kind of feeling. And that's the nature. You feel, wow, how did we get this body? Why? We get this body to work with. And then, something magical, feel really magical, at least to me. I hope I answered your question. And I don't know about the yoga, their spiritual part or their thinking, whatever, but I'm saying to everybody, okay, if people practicing Tai Chi, don't let their mind wandering and going someplace. They think that they're spiritual, they're in cloud nine. No, calm down. Stay with your body.
Be present.
Exactly.
Yet, but you mentioned the religion and the different people together. This is a wonderful, wonderful idea of union. Of Tai Chi can bring people together in happiness and in joy. And this creates spirituality. This is wonderful.
Yes, that's just very awesome. And of course, this year we could not do it. And but with my daily class, I have been hosting the daily class more than 2 months now, and I have a total the total views. I think it's surpassing 200,000 views now, and I live stream to 3 Facebook sites and to Tweet TV as well as YouTube, but I really don't do very much in YouTube. And and after the live streaming, then I will post on Twitter and Tumblr and LinkedIn. So I got quite a lot of views. You know, like I say, just in 2 months, I have 200,000 views, and there are at least 22 countries. You know,
That would be my next question. How people they can reach to you, how people they can contact you, how people they can find you.
Well, very easy. Just Google me, Violet Lee, Violet, last name Li, and my website is violetlee.com. That's my personal site because I'm a Tai Chi instructor, and as far as my writing site is violetleetaichi.com. So you just add Tai Chi there, and so yeah, people could. It's easiest way just type Violet Lee. I think you know, most of the time it will pop up, so they can get my information, and then they can send me questions, and I welcome questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'm pretty resourceful since I have been a journalist for so many years, more than 10 years, and I have get to know many of the scientists and grandmasters and masters and experts. So yeah, just let me know if you have any questions.
No, thank you very much, Violet. It was wonderful. It was so full of information. I don't think anyone can ask for more. Thank you once again.
Well, thanks for inviting me to join this. I'm glad to have this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our interview will end here.
Okay, thanks. Mm-hmm.